Hey guys, let me introduce you to one more great personality with us, Madam Pallavi Pratap, Advocate on Board, Supreme Court of India. She has been practicing at the Honorable Supreme Court of India for the last 9 years. She is a first generation woman lawyer who loves litigation. She completed her MBA from La Trobe University in Melbourne, Australia, specializing in finance. She did research from ESC Dijon in France and then came back to India and started working into finance as an investment banker. So let's begin our talk with Madam Pallavi Pratap.
I've read about you. You have did your MBA from Melbourne, and then you have already worked for corporate world. Then what made you feel to join into this field?
Okay, that's a very long story and a little personal, so I try and not disclose that. But it was because of some personal reasons that I had to do something like this. However, what had happened was that investment banking was something that I really liked, for the simple reason that it gave me the avenues that I was looking at, and also, you become kind of a corporate jet setter. You're in Bombay one day and then you are in Bangalore the other day. But I think that kind of a life does not really suit a woman, because they have their own ways of looking after a family, etc. And litigation happened by chance. So initially, when I finished my law, when I finished my graduation, so just like anybody else in India, I also sat for my civil services examination. So that UPSC dream was there, and I cleared about two rounds of it, but I could not clear the whole of it. So then I was kind of getting disheartened. My father said that it is best that you go and do an MBA. By the time results had come and the applications etc. were over for doing it through CAT in India. So my sister was going to Australia, so I thought that I will also join in and do my MBA there. I came back from Australia, and then I started to work here. And I also got married around the same time. And then it was a good 9 to 5, 9 to 6 kind of an environment, and it was okay. I mean, I was doing fairly well. I was next in line to become a CEO also, hopefully. But then there were some certain things that were supposed to happen, which did not really happen, as a result of which I thought that it was best that I go ahead and look at other career avenues. So law was always something that I never wanted to do. I was always thinking that, in order to become a lawyer, you actually have to be that part of being a lawyer, that, you maybe have to be like an aggressive person. And I was very, soft skills oriented kind of a person. So I always thought that maybe I will never be a very good lawyer. And so, then what happened was that I started to go to court. The first court I went to was Supreme Court. I actually knew nobody over there, and I went, and slowly I started to work. And I actually realized that I actually like it so much, because what happens is when you've done UPSC, no, so इतनी आदत पड़ जाती ना पढ़ाई करने की. So you're like, you always studying. So because of that, unfortunately you become like, you have to read books and things like that. So जब मैंने वकालत शुरू की, तो I realized that this is the perfect thing to do, because I can still study. Like I still have files to look at. I still have books to look at. So many judgments to look at. So that whole thing about studying actually came back. So I started to practice, and then slowly, I started to love it in terms of if you're doing, and I started from Supreme Court. I did not really go to the trial court and the high court, which I think now, of course, I'm doing a lot of trial court and high court related work. But when I started, it was from Supreme Court, because at that point in time, my parents thought that it was a secure environment that I would get. So finally, when I started to do it, I actually started to realize, oh my God, this is really amazing. I mean, I can do things that I want to, and at the same time, it is nice because I'm learning, and at the same time, I'm helping people as well. So it's not just that it is just money making business as it was in investment banking. So when I started to go to Supreme Court, it became really interesting, and then I thought that I'll take my AOR examination. I was sure that I'm going to flunk it because I think I had literally prepared for 15 days. And during those 15 days, about a week, I had fever, so I could not really study so much. But just that 1 week which was left right before the examination, I don't know how I cracked it, but I actually did. And then when I became an AOI, life really changed for me, because then I started to have my own independent practice. I started to get my own clients, and then one thing led to another, and then I launched my own law firm. And touchwood, now everything looks like as if God had a very big plan for me, and it kind of fell in place. So that's how it has been, the journey so far. Although this COVID has been a little bit of a speed breaker, but I hope we will overcome it very soon.
All right, ma'am. So coming to the topic of today's session, which is impact of COVID-19 on Indian judicial system. So, ma'am, what would you like to comment on?
See, I think Indian judicial system has really evolved. If you see from where it was to where it is just now. For instance, if we were to get into e-filing mode or video conferencing mode, and for us to imagine that maybe we would be arguing our matters over video conferencing, I think that would have been that we would have thought ये 10 साल के बाद ही आएगा मेरे ख्याल से. ऐसे अभी it is not that it's something that's going to suddenly happen with a magic wand in 2 weeks time. But it happened. And I remember my first case was the Kerala-Karnataka border case, which we did in through video conferencing before the Honorable Supreme Court. And it was, even though there were a lot of bottlenecks that we could see, but it was something that actually was happening, and it was a reality that happened. Similarly, we see that it is not just Supreme Court, High Court, the NCLTs, the tribunals. As a matter of fact, RERA, all the local trial courts also are actually doing wonderful job right now through video conferencing. So I think the judicial system suddenly adapted to the whole idea of being, technologically driven, and everybody accepted it, which I think was a huge positive part of it. However, there are, of course, discussions that we see, and it is true also that a lot of lawyers who are not technologically savvy, they are actually not able to do so much work. So what is happening is that, of course, BCI, Bar Council of India, or the SCBA here in Delhi, they have made arrangements for such lawyers that they can then, use the virtual conference rooms to argue their matter if they do not have, let's say, a laptop at home, or the entire paraphernalia that is required for you to do a matter. I think those things become really important, that, it is not that we are not helping each other, or the bar is not helping other lawyers. As far as judiciary is concerned, I feel that they've been extremely supportive also. Supportive in the sense that if, let's say, for some reason a matter is not being taken up, or there is a glitch in terms of the link is not working and things like that, then the honorable judges actually accommodate lawyers so much, because they feel that the client or the person who's approaching the court should not be victimized as a result of technology not really taking it off so well. So I think they've been extremely gracious as far as all of this is concerned. Now, if the other thing I feel is for law students and for lawyers also in general, because of the video conferencing happening, as a result of which only there are few people who are able to see what is happening in the court. So it is not like the open court hearings that we have, where interns could come and watch on non-miscellaneous days as to how a senior advocate is arguing a matter, or how the honorable judge is countering points. These things, I think, are not available at the moment, but I feel that because this is not going to hopefully be something which will be a long stretch thing, so therefore the courts might open up soon and we will see everything going back to normal. But frankly, I think every one of us has adapted to the entire filing process and everything else that comes with it.
So, ma'am, as this as this online system has started recently. So ma'am, can you comment on this, that we can go, or we can think to go in future of something, this kind of system?
Yes, if you, I don't know if you've seen that or not. There was this webinar which was done by the Supreme Court, where they had talked about you know how the Supreme Court e-filing system was introduced. Now, with the e-filing system, what had happened was that everything has now become computerized. So 24/7, you can actually access the system, because which is available at your house. You can do your filing even if it is at 10 o'clock in the night. You can actually, or 2 o'clock in the night, you can do your filing like that, and that prevents you a lot of heartache at the end of the day, because so many times when we have to do a physical filing, it has to be done by 6 o'clock or 7 o'clock, and that, you know, then the limitation starts to run out. So that, I think, has become easier. The clerks, of course, a little bit of a problem they are facing, because they are not so tech savvy. Not all of them are very tech savvy, but because the physical filing window is also open in Supreme Court, so you know, there it is not that they've become completely redundant. Also, I think that a lot of other forums are there where we would still be seeing that a physical hearing will start to take place, and I think when that happens, then it will definitely make a bigger impact. For younger lawyers also, I feel that arguing a case, they would see that the honorable judges are kinder, and they are, you know, issuing notices to all the young lawyers who are there. So I think, yes, it is having a positive impact as far as that.
Perfect. So one which is most commonly question arising these days, ma'am, what do you think, how much it has affected means career of those who are in their final year of their law?
Yeah, I think it has affected quite a bit, because whatever I have read in live law and places such as that, is that a lot of big law firms have deferred their recruitment till October. Even now, when I'm getting internship opportunity applications, I'm not able to provide everybody that opportunity, because right now the amount of work that we would have typically had over let's say vacation, when we try to sort out a lot of things, that kind of work cannot be done at this moment. Like, for example, there is an inspection to be done of files, or readying all the files and finishing off all the filing in terms of counter affidavits, rejoinders, etc. Or typically the lower courts also work up until at least the second or the third week of June. So when the interns actually come, they get a feel of what it is like to be in court. So the final year students then always have that option that they can see what is happening in the court, and they can have a first-hand experience. And because of them being very positive about it, we also go ahead and look at them as possible hirees that we would want to maybe ask them to join us in our firm, or maybe work as our junior colleagues. That, I think, has been impacted severely, especially for this year final year students. I think it is going to be a little tough finding jobs also, which will be as well paying as one would like them to be, because right now I think the paying scenario also doesn't look very good in terms of salaries to be dispersed.
So ma'am, what do you think what we can expect is after effects?
The after effects, I feel one, of course, we will all come out very technologically savvy because I think I never thought that I will be using Zoom applications and doing webinars every weekend or every second day. I think we've all understood the importance of how if you have to continue your learning, internet is something that is giving you that option. It is giving you the opportunity to learn. There are so many YouTube channels which have tremendous knowledge which is there. I mean, I think you have any query, I doubt that I'm actually going on Google anymore. I'm actually going to YouTube now and figuring it out. So you have a very good analysis of something which might be given there, right from cooking to everything. You find everything over there. So I think technologically we've become more savvy like that. Then I think coming out of COVID-19 situation, I will feel that we will become very resilient also. Resilient to the fact that it is a very stressful time for all of us, no doubt. No matter who's where, we are looking at migrant workers and their condition. I believe you are in Eastern UP. Where exactly are you in Eastern UP just now?
Lucknow.
Oh, you're in Lucknow. That's not Eastern UP, by the way. I'm also from Lucknow. So, but we've been seeing such a lot of problem which is happening with the migrant workers right now, or anybody for that matter. Every one of us is actually stressed out. Also, we are more concerned about personal hygiene. Everybody's washing their hands innumerable times, and things that are coming in, and we've started to learn to work within our needs. Whatever is our need, we are only trying to work towards it, and instead of being so flamboyant as people used to be previously. And I think this much amount of time has also given us the opportunity to learn that you have space for working, and also you have space to understand and learn case laws. You have time to see what is happening, not just in India but also globally, to figure out exactly how the courts in Supreme Court of USA, how it is functioning. It's amazing, the tremendous potential that is there for all of us to learn. It's huge. Then also I feel that this is a good time for us to actually make ourselves feel disciplined. We have that much time to be disciplined in terms of figuring out that, okay, if I have to get up at 5:30, I have to get up at 5:30. I have to finish this, and then I have to do this. So I think as law students or as lawyers, it has definitely brought about that discipline in us, which I think was lacking for a very long time. I think we've been able to understand how to manage stress, because these are definitely the most stressful times that we could have come across. And managing stress has become easier because, I for one have realized that, certain things will never be under my control. So it is best that not to stress about it, and to, just move on with things. Whatever is in my control, I would do that. And if things are not in my control, I'll just leave it to God's desire and let it be. And finally, I feel that as people, even though we are observing social distancing so much, we've realized the importance of having people in our lives, having friends in our lives, having for example, I miss my office a lot, my interns and my junior colleagues, and all of us, we used to, on a typical Saturday, we would actually have food ordered from outside, which is like a pizza or something, and we would have a party, like a pizza cake. One of us, there was this boy called Shivam Goyal, he used to order all of this, and then we would just have an office party. So it used to be a casual Saturday, and we would all enjoy ourselves. I think every Saturday I kind of miss that. But yeah, so I've come to realize that those moments were very precious, and maybe we just took it for granted, not knowing that something like this was in store. But this has actually led me to also make wonderful friends. I mean, I never knew that sitting at home you can actually make so many friends. I've kind of made so many friends, like you, for instance. Then there are other people that I've met over WhatsApp groups and webinars that I've done, and everybody has such amazing things to tell. That just blows my mind away. So it's amazing so far, and I hope it opens up really quickly. Yeah.
So ma'am, thank you so much for adding me in your friend list. So moving to my next question, that is what we can say can be the learning for all of us from this pandemic.
I think the learning is that that whatever time that we have right now, we should just learn not to waste it. I think in a normal course of day, we actually end up wasting so much time. Maybe we're just chatting with our friends and really not focusing on the work that we are supposed to do. Even in this pandemic time, staying at home has taught me so much that work can be done from anywhere. even if you are in Timbuktu, you can actually do your work if you want to do your work. So I think learning will not stop, because learning these days is now available on the phone. Learning is these days is available everywhere. If you want to learn, you can actually learn anytime that you want to. There is no such thing that 9 to 5 ही हमें सीखने को मिलेगा. It is something which is spread. But if we do not really come out of this pandemic situation as more disciplined, and we do not learn, then I think it is not really going to help us, because this is the time that we can actually look for personal development also. Personal development here would mean that not just looking after our work or our work ethics, for example. It is also for us to look at our health. I think a lot of law students I see, and especially the final year students that I keep speaking to, I've realized that they are putting in so much stress as a result of non-placement happening, or the not getting the right internships, or online internships really are not teaching so much to the interns. I feel they are the ones who are suffering a lot, and they are getting stressed a lot. So this is just a time. This is going to go away, and to all the law students, at least I would want to say that this is just a phase. It is going to pass, but you only have to be patient, because the moment it opens up, believe me, the litigation cases will increase exponentially, and there will be a lot of work for all of us to do. So I feel that just be hopeful and don't give up on hope, at least just yet. It's going to open up, and you guys will really, all of us actually will be really doing a fabulous job once it happens.
Wonderful
So
answer. So ma'am, one question which I was thinking to ask any lawyer from very long, that is, ma'am, as per the article that was published in 24 September 2018 on the Hindu, according to which the Ministry of Law has said that we have only 19 judges per 10 lakh people. So what would you like to say?
I would like to say that the law students may, actually use this time to prepare for their PCSJ examination, because I feel that the number of judges is going to increase tremendously in the coming years. One, of course, litigation is definitely going to increase in the coming years, and secondly, also because number of cases have increased exponentially, and if we see across high courts right now, a lot of vacancy is there in the High Court. Even in Supreme Court, it is starting to show with the recent retirements. But there is a lot of vacancy, and I believe that there will be increase in number of benches all across. Especially, we will see that there are going to be so many special courts which will come into play. Just as we saw that so many tribunals opened up, like you've got MACT, NCLT, NCLAT, you've got NCDRC, so many areas of work which is happening, and then the principal benches which were there. So for example, NGT had a principal bench in Delhi. They've just opened something in Bhopal, which is again a division bench. I see that this is going to happen increasingly. So there will be a number of judges who will be increased, the benches will increase. So people who really have that zest to look at judiciary as a career option, I think this is a fabulous time for you to study in order to then be able to crack judicial examination at a very young age. Because if I don't know if you've seen it or not, there is Justice Bhanumati who's there in the Supreme Court, and she comes from actually the lower judiciary, and she's made her way right up to the Supreme Court. And I think we all, I of course have become too old to take PCSJ examination or an HAS, but others who are young, I think this is a good opportunity to read. Also because when you study for a judiciary examination, I feel the points and the concepts become so clear, because judiciary or any competitive examination opens up your brain like that. Your sitting capacity increases so much. I remember a friend of mine had told me that Justice Markandeya Katchu had told him that if you have to be a judge, you have to have a sitting capacity, and that is so true. To be able to sit for such a long hour and to hear with utmost attention the submissions which are being made, I think that is a huge task. And for all of us as lawyers or who are aspiring to be judges, I think this is a wonderful time to actually study towards judiciary examination. And I'm sure the number of seats will increase. And anybody who's coming from the Hindi belt would also see that, you have not just the option of, let's say, UP PCSJ, you've also got Bihar, you've also got Rajasthan, I think Haryana also has it in Hindi. So, and of course Delhi. So I think there is a lot of Madhya Pradesh, there's a big chunk of examinations that you can take. And then, of course, I saw that while I was preparing, that a lot of questions actually get repeated between different PCSJ examinations. So a lot of times Haryana questions, you would see that the same questions are being asked in the UP PCSJ also. So that kind of really helps if you would want to spread yourself. But to answer your question, yes, I think the benches, etc., will increase now. They will definitely increase.
It is really a great message for ma'am. You have told us so much thing for those who are already in their doing their law. Ma'am, I request you, ma'am, please give a message to them, those who are still in their 9th, 10th and want to pursue law as their career.
Okay, so if you are in 9th and 10th and you really want to pursue law as your career, I think you have to start studying for CLAT right from 11th standard onwards, because now the CLAT competition has really become, it's become very difficult. I think that is one. Secondly, please don't think that you can argue a lot, so therefore you're going to make a fabulous lawyer. That doesn't happen. You don't have to really be, arguing with your brother and sister every day and say, देखो मैं तुमको कितना बढ़िया तरीके से पीछे कर देता हूँ, इसलिए मैं बहुत बड़ा वकील बनने वाला हूँ. Nothing like that. As a matter of fact, in order to be a good lawyer, you should know how to keep your mouth shut and when to speak. That is, I think, the most prominent lesson that we learn as we go along and practice law. Second, just dream big. I mean, whatever it is that you want to dream, please go ahead and dream. And also know that 9th, 10th में हम जो चीज dream कर रहे होते हैं, जरूरी नहीं है कि वो life में, after a couple of years it will actualize into that thing, or you might like doing that for the rest of your life, because life is big and you might want to, let's say, be a lawyer just now, but 5 years down the line you want to become some Salman Khan kind of an actor. So please just make sure that if you want to become Salman Khan, please by all means go ahead and become one. Don't stop yourself from thinking मैंने वकालत ही करनी है और मैं वकालत ही करूँगा. Because life, you will never know what life can actually have in store for you. I am a living example of it. I never wanted to become a lawyer, and I'm actually loving being a lawyer, and I'm really having a good time. So I think just open up to life. 9th 10th स्टैंडर्ड में तो बच्चों को खूब एंजॉय करना चाहिए, खूब मस्ती मारनी चाहिए, क्योंकि उसके बाद जब लाइफ होती है ना, तब it is all changed perspective. So yeah, that's about it. Enjoy yourself, please, 9th standard 10th standard students. Don't worry about future is going to unfold just the way it is supposed to.
It is really a great
Sorry,
message.
I'm not saying the right thing.
So ma'am, I would like to ask one more question, or probably this is the last one. Ma'am, how do you feel whenever you win some case against any injustice, and how does it feel to you?
It feels very good. It feels really awesome. Honestly, I have this big smile which goes from ear to ear, pasted on my face for a very long time, unless कि कई बार ऐसा होता है कि आप एक ही दिन में 4 केस कर रहे होते हैं, जिसमें से 2 केस आप जीतते हैं और 2 केस आप हारते हैं. तो आप जब वो 2 केस जीत रहे होते हैं तो आपकी हंसी तो बहुत ऊपर हो जाती है, जब वो 2 केस हारते हैं तो आप नीचे आ जाते हैं. But it is the best feeling ever. Believe me, it is the amount of hard work that you put in your case, and then when you win it, see, not all cases you're going to win, and everybody needs to know कि ऐसा कभी भी नहीं होता कि सारे cases हर वकील जीतता है. अगर ऐसा कोई वकील कर रहा है तो इसका मतलब है कि कई सारे केसेस वो वापस कर रहा है क्योंकि उसको लग रहा है कि इस केस में हम जीत नहीं सकते, इसलिए वो वापस कर रहा होगा. Most of the time you would see that there are so many reasons that your case may be weak, and when you have a weak case and you put in a lot of effort and then you get something out of it, I think that gives you the most happiness than anything else. And doing a lot of hard work, यहाँ से केस लॉ निकाला, वहां से केस लॉ निकाला, दोस्तों से बात की, यार इस तरीके के मैटर में किस तरीके से कर सकते हैं, what do you think I should argue, all of that. And then when you get, let's say, so Supreme Court में, if you would know that admission rates बहुत कम होते हैं, so typically if there are 60 matters which are listed, barely 5 or 6 matters will have notice issued. तो बड़ा डिफिकल्ट होता है कि हम नोटिस भी इशू करवा लें, और जिस दिन हम नोटिस इशू करवा के आते हैं तो उस दिन ऐसे लगता है कि बस हम ही जो है अमिताभ बच्चन है और कोई. So yeah, it is the best feeling ever, and I hope all of you law students who become lawyers eventually, you will love that feeling, because every one of you is going to win a case and every one of you is going to enjoy that.
Thank you so much for ma'am giving your precious time to us. It is will be the memorable moment for all of us, and it is also the wonderful interaction with you. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Harsh, and take care of yourself. All right, bye-bye.
Bye.